Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the 5-minute Reedmaker. I have a nasty problem that I've been struggling with all this summer: mold. Now, it's not really a problem here in my house. I process my cane and I use it right away. My reeds do not go moldy, and it doesn't feel like the ones that I ship get moldy either, because I don't hear about that from people. But 3 or 4 times in the past few months, a customer has reached out to say that the gouged or shaped cane that I mailed them has gone moldy in the bag. Now, obviously, the first thing I do for these customers is I replace that cane, because no one needs to suffer while I sort out my behind-the-scenes problems. I've started mailing packets of silica gel, like so, with my cane just in little Ziploc bags, and I leave the little Ziplocs open as I mail them. And I'd already been drying the cane overnight before I mail. I mean, I want to ship them promptly, but I'm not shipping cane fresh out of the soaking vessel. But still, I'm getting some complaints. And I mean, maybe I always will. I'm not sure I can work ahead enough with the variety of customizations that I offer to be assured of sending perfectly dry cane every time. And I have no control over climate or weather or storage while the cane is in the mail, or for that matter, after it arrives in my customer's home. And maybe some of you have this problem too. Maybe you buy cane and you don't get around to using it right away because maybe you're not making 200 reeds a month like I am. So now my interest is in identifying solutions to this problem once the cane has already gone to the dark side. Can it be recovered? I've done a little research, but I've not seen anyone answer the question of whether specifically oboe cane can be restored to full viability after growing mold. I mean, it's not just about not having visible mold on it, it's about, does it make a good reed? I have a few pieces here that were returned to me by a customer. They're not the worst that I've seen, but they're the ones that I have handy, and they distinctly have stuff growing on them. And so now I'm going to run an experiment, and I have no idea what we're going to learn. I've made a solution of baking soda and water in this cup. In this cup I have 3% hydrogen peroxide, the kind you just buy in the pharmacy in the brown bottle. And here I have plain white distilled vinegar, undiluted. So I'm going to give my cane like 3 pieces in each. And I'm going to give them an hour or so in these liquids. And then we'll just see what happens. I'll keep you posted. Hey guys, so I'm back. It's been about 2 hours. I had a snack and taught a lesson between then and now. And I've just taken all of the cane out and rinsed it really thoroughly under running water. What I've discovered is this: the cane that's soaked in the baking soda and water combination is very dark in color. It still had some spots of black mold on the surface, which I did wipe off, but I can definitely see that the tips of this cane, the very ends, are still discolored, as they were when the mold was fresh and untreated. The cane that's soaked in the vinegar over here is a sort of medium in color. It's a little lighter than the baking soda soaked cane. And I don't know what to make of that, honestly. Like, is it just that it soaked better, it soaked more thoroughly in the baking soda, or that it didn't treat the mold? I don't know, I'm just making observations. I see no evidence of mold on these 3 vinegar pieces. I don't see it at the ends of the cane. I didn't see anything on the surface of the cane as I was rinsing, although I did like use a thumb a little bit to clean them as I went. But they do have kind of a strong smell of vinegar still. So we'll see how unpleasant that is as we move along through this process. The 3 that soaked in peroxide are completely clean. They are light pale in color and super attractive looking. They have no odor, and they have no evidence of mold on them at all. So that's pretty exciting. Next thing I'm going to do is wind these up and make reeds and see what we get. And I'm back. So as I promised, I made a reed with all 3 different kinds of cane. I actually made a bunch. What I discovered, all of these reeds that I've just made are totally within normal parameters for my reed making, right? They're all a little hard, they're all first day reeds, but they all totally work. There's no problem there, and nothing that I can chalk up to the differences between the soaking mediums. I made 2 of the peroxide canes into reeds just because I screwed up the first one, because even the 5-minute Reedmaker makes mistakes, and I took off a corner that I didn't need to. And they're fine, they're all a little hard and totally functional. The vinegar one definitely has a flavor of vinegar to it in a way that is not altogether pleasant. The baking soda one has a little bit of a salty flavor. The peroxide ones seem completely innocent of anything. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put these away in a box that doesn't circulate air very well, and I'm going to give them a couple of days, and then I'm going to finish this video with a look at the product that I've ended up with. Welcome back. It's been about 4 days since I last looked at these, and in that time all of the reeds and blanks were sealed up in a plastic box, and all of the pieces of cane were sealed up in individual plastic bags, because I wanted to see what would happen and what would be our most lasting solution to the mold problem. Here's what I discovered. This piece of cane that was soaked originally in baking soda and water and then wiped clean, I stuck it in a plastic bag and sealed it up, and sure enough, 4 days later, it's got mold growing all over it. So, you know, when I went on the internet originally, baking soda with water was one of the top 3 non-toxic mold-removing agents. But I can say pretty safely that for oboe cane, it is a bad choice. It's not doing anything. The reed that I had made, like, it's still fine. It doesn't seem to have any mold on it. There doesn't seem to be any mold on the inside of this other blank, and I did open it up and check for that pretty intentionally. But obviously this piece of cane has gone right back to the dark side. Both of these reeds have this weird salty baking soda-y taste. And look, the reed is fine, but I'm not going to send it out to anybody or use it because I am suspicious of all of this moldy activity. So I feel like we can rule that out as a good choice. These guys over here, the ones that were soaked in vinegar, actually, the cane stayed perfectly clean. The vinegary taste that I noticed on the cane when I made this reed the first time, and the smell, have almost completely gone away. And the reed turned out pretty good. I also opened up this second blank. You can see that it's still soaked inside, but I see no evidence of mold, and the vinegary flavor over 4 days has totally dissipated. So this was actually pretty successful. I guess this piece of cane that was sealed up in an airtight bag does have kind of a smell to it still, a vinegary smell, not a moldy smell. But my guess is that in the air that will dissipate just like it did with these guys. So that solution was effective. But I think that the most effective solution was with the hydrogen peroxide. Nothing bad has happened here. Both the blank that I spoiled by wrecking the corner and the blank that I didn't spoil and made into a reed are still reeds. They have no off flavors. They appear to have just been, as far as anyone can tell, they've just been soaked in water. And they have no mold on them at all. So here's what I'm going to suggest. If you order a cane from somebody and it arrives to you with mold on it, you should complain and that person should replace it. And if it's me, I will replace it. But what you could do if you have a bunch of cane that has been sitting around long past the point that it's somebody else's fault, and it has gone to the dark side a little bit, try soaking it in hydrogen peroxide or vinegar. Try rinsing it thoroughly clean afterwards, and then just try making the reed. Because from this limited experiment, I have found success with that tactic. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope this has been helpful. This has been a 5-minute Reedmaker lesson. You can follow these short videos right here on YouTube, and you can subscribe if you wish. If you have questions, or if you would like to order reeds or cane, you can find me at jennetingle.com. And I'd love to hear from you. What questions do you have about reed making? What should my next video cover for you? Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.